Hello, it's Alex, and I'm here today at my old job. This is the Cotswold Motoring Museum in Bourton on the Water. I worked here from the age of 16 for about 12 years on and off. I used to mainly do weekends. So if anyone came here in sort of mid-2000s, I would say, they may have seen my Mark 1 Capri out the front, red with a black bonnet, or my Land Rover. But yes, it's been years since I worked in here, but not a lot has changed. Not a lot, although they did like to freak me out and move a few cars around. They had everything out of here a couple of years ago, I think, to redo the floor. So it's empty in here, and they put everything back almost in the same place. But a couple of the cars have moved, and it confuses me. Yeah, it's a great museum. It's one of those things that, because I've worked here for so many years, you sort of become immune to it. So it's not that I don't appreciate it. Of course I appreciate it. I love it. But you sort of go blind. You've got blinkers on. You sort of miss stuff. So it's nice now to come in as a patron. You know, I've paid to come in. I didn't, but just gonna have a look around. But I'm not going to go too in depth because Simon, my friend from Smashing Pistons, is here, and he's going to film stuff more in depth. So I'm just going to have a little quick look around and show you some of my favourite things, some of the things I remember, and probably just point out the things that have moved. This Mark 5 Jag was always one of my favourites. Big and beautiful. The only thing that put me off was it was a convertible. I prefer it if it was a hardtop. This is an Austin 7, but it's not. It's the American version, which they called the Bantam. And it's left-hand drive. Don't know how it got over here, but this BMW here is a rare beast. I mean, when you think of BMW, you don't think of anything looking like this, do you? It's 1938. You think they were doing the aircraft engines, aren't they? That's what this badge is designed to look like, propellers going round. This car used to be parked over there, that's what I was going to say. And the roof was always down. They put the roof up for a change, maybe to just keep the dust out. It always bugged me how close they parked these two together, especially the fact that the door's not closed on that standard. The old taxi's got a great story to it. It's worth coming and reading about it. It's been all over the gaff.
I was going to say, if you didn't like the Rover 75 gear shifter, you would like this one.
Yes, huge. Huge and wobbly. Let's see, there it is. There's an old photograph. That is this car. It's done over 800,000 miles. Been to South Africa and back. And this Jaguar is a beautiful car, and it's a hardtop, so this was always on my favourite list as well. And of course, the star of the show, everyone loves to see, is little Brum. And I'm very happy to see him with his eyes looking at me. Every Sunday, or every Saturday or Sunday when I come in, you can guarantee that I had to straighten his headlights out because some kid had got over the gate and pushed his headlights back. So he'd often be looking up at the ceiling and I'd have to pull them back straight again. So I'm really happy to see that he's looking at me, which is great. Magic. Look at this engine. If we press the button, we can see it turning very, very slowly. You can watch the valves open there, look. Personally, I think this is one of the most unusual cars in the museum. It's called an Invicta. It says here, should I have heard of an Invicta? Not necessarily. It was founded in 1925 and by 1933 it went bankrupt. No, I've never seen an Invicta, a car show or any other museum. This is the only one I've ever seen. And all the dummies, look, here they are. And why do you always automatically put your arm out if you become a dummy?
Because that's what dummies do.
Is it?
Yeah.
She's not doing it.
At least we
She's
got
not putting her hand out.
That's a person, not a dummy, that's why.
Oh really?
oh
Oh yeah, they have got arms out.
Oh, he's got an arm out.
He's pumping.
Oh,
Fuel tank. This is the tattiest car in the museum.
have you ever worked on a side valve?
A bit of a barn find. A side valve? Well, technically Jessie's got valves on the side of her engine. This is a Triumph. There's about 7 or 8 rooms in the museum. This one's more like a barn find one. But if you want to see more of the museum, check out Simon's channel. Smashing Pistons. That's him there with the beard, yeah. He's looking at it a bit more in depth, whereas I'm just doing a sort of quick pan around and chat to you about a couple of cars. This is the only Rover in the museum. It's exceptionally old. 1922. And it's got OXO branding on the side. Yeah, it's a bit of an old Rover, isn't it? Them blimmin' chickens are loud, aren't they? And this car over here is another bit of a rare beast. It's called an All Days and Onions car. Yep, that's what it's called. 1911. I think it's one of the oldest cars in here. Oh, look, someone's broken off the honker. Well, they've unscrewed it because they got fed up people squeezing it. But yeah, for an old car, you know, 1911, it's pretty big. Well, I got a bit of time on my hands and I was just reading about this car. And look, apparently down there, the accelerator pedal is actually between the brake and the clutch. How weird's that? I also read that they started off making motorcycles in, when was it? 1902. Wow. Look, this is new. We've got some cat's eyes. Look, there's the more modern version with the reflectors in, and then there's this original version. I actually got one of these in the garage that I found. They're all rubbery. It's cool. This MG, when I first started here, used to just sit outside It was just sitting out there rotting. There was no room for it in the museum because they were still building this building. This wasn't here, when I started. Let's see. See inside, it's all dusty. It's very muddy. They just put this mud on it. It's just fake mud. Sorry to ruin it for you. Now this little car here always fascinated me working here. It's called a Durham car, I think it's been named. And it's actually got an engine in it. It's an old Austin 7 chassis, I think, that's been sort of chopped down with the engine in there. And the guy who used to own the place, he used to drive it about the village. It was actually used, I think, for collecting car parts, if I remember rightly. There you go, look. It says, although it looks like a rich boy's toy, it's a complete working car. It was made in the workshop as a publicity gimmick. Licensed for the road, garage workers use it to collect car parts. Bought the car when I lived in South Africa, named it Durham car, which is African's word meaning bemused, or perplexed, or even dazed. No doubt that's exactly how people would have felt upon seeing such a small car being driven along the road by an adult. Built in 1937 using a shortened and narrowed chassis for an old Austin 7, which was very common in South Africa. The engine was an Austin 7 engine as well. Good, isn't it? I love it. Imagine firing it up and driving it about. It'd be great. I'll show you how small that car is. If you look at it next to Simon.
Next to me.
Yeah, you'll see how small it is then. Like a pedal car. It's got an engine in it and everything. And then you've got this great big bullnose Morris. Look at that. Morris Oxford. Huge. The Invicta used to be in here. They've moved this in. The original 3-wheeler Morgan with the Jap engines. 3-wheeler, see? Little Fiat Topolino is a bit of a rare one as well. I don't really see them about. Always loved this bit. They've made it out to be like an old garage. So there's loads of old car parts in here. Oh, I just wanted to dig through them all and see if I could find any bits for my cars. But I imagine most of it is going to be for the more veteran car, like the earlier cars from the 30s, 40s. I doubt there's going to be any Rover P4 or P6 things in here. That picture there, if I remember rightly, was a picture of the first car that was in Bourton on the water. Can't remember the make of it though, it's gone out of my mind. Oh, that's it, yeah. Jack Lake's garage. And the car's a Dirac. 1916. Owned by a doctor. Old engine tester. Look at that. Everything you need on that. That's basically your little pocket code reader that doesn't fit in your pocket. My Nan gave me her old helmet from when she had a little scooter back in the day. and I donated it to the museum, but I'm not 100% sure where it is. I'm not sure if it's one of these on here. I got a feeling it's that one with the little peak on it, but I can't remember. Blooming years ago. Probably got pictures somewhere. I had to remove some things in here because I think they had something for Jimmy Savile saying clunk click or something. So this split screen Morris, this was actually purchased, and that Land Rover was purchased to go to shows in to sort of advertise the museum. But unfortunately it didn't come to plan, I guess, and the cars just ended up in here. It's cool, isn't it? Oh, they've got this shed out here. Looks like they're using it for storage for car parts. Look, they've been labelling everything. Oh, there's so many useful car parts here, and it's such a shame that enthusiasts can't buy them, really. Pedal cars down here, the classic, is it J10 pedal car they call it or something? This one is my favourite because it is a pedal car, but it's absolutely blimmin' huge, and it was designed for two people to pedal. I don't know if I can get over there just to show you. You see the pedals in there? So two of you could go at it. I did actually pedal this car. It wasn't blocked in like this before, and I pedalled it down there, and it's blimmin' heavy. It's hard work. Look at that pedal motorbike as well, look. And this thing here is designed to pedal in the water. You can see here. There you go. Mad, isn't it? Some of the history of the CSMA is in here as well. Look at that trophy. Absolutely huge. Because the museum is owned by the CSMA, which is the Civil Service Motoring Association. It used to be owned by one man. He collected most of it. Look, you can see us and everything. Uh-oh, Simon's in amongst all the toy cars. Have you seen any you want to buy?
No, not yet.
No Hot Wheels cars, is there? Oh, is there? No Hot Wheels cars? No. They used to have a big crate of them.
Did they?
Yeah.
Maybe I've been here before, but I told you.
You've had them all. So there we are. We have finished the visit to the Motor Museum. Simon's been filming lots. He's just doing his intro as an outro. He's doing an outro and intro in the rain. It's horrible weather here, really horrible, so it was ideal to look around the museum today. Yeah, mini hedge. We're gonna go get something to eat. I'm getting hangry. Thanks for watching. Bye. This budgeons here used to be called Summerfields, and that's where I got my first job when I was 16.
You alright, Tony? You what? Yeah, it's very nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah, I'll grab it. Cheers. They're for Tony.